at Westminster for another episode of Saving Time. This week, just in time for getting ready towards St. Patrick's Day next Thursday, we're going to make a quick Irish stew. Okay, obviously in the world of saving time where we're ready in an hour or less, we're not going to make a traditional stew that you need to simmer for 2-3 hours minimum. We're going to go ahead and make a quick Irish stew, which means all the parts of a regular stew, but we're going to do it with ground beef. And then you don't need that long simmering time. Having said that, first thing we're going to do, and because we don't have the long simmering time, we're going to roast our potatoes ahead so that they're cooking while everything else is. And then we don't need it to simmer long enough to cook the potatoes. I want to get about 1/2 inch pieces. I went ahead and peeled these. No particular sales this week. There's some good buys out there. 10 pounds of potatoes at No Frills for $2.88, which is a good buy. I had these peeled and soaking in water, so I'm just drying them off because if they're wet, they won't brown for us. So we'll just do that. Just a little paper towel, or if you've got a tea towel around that you want to use, grab it. But that's something that you can keep in mind. If ever you have a few extra minutes in the morning, yeah, right, in whose world, should that happen, you always peel your potatoes ahead and just make sure they're covered in water, and then you won't have any problems with them browning or anything on you. So I want about 1/2 inch pieces. I don't want them to disappear on me. So just, you know, you can see by the size of your potato, but think in terms of 1/2 inch pieces. And then we'll do them the way we have before. I've got the oven preheated already to 400, so you go ahead and do the same. Get them all set up, and then this is a great way to get the potatoes in there but keep that short cooking time. St. Patrick's Day fun, of course, and you know, you always end up with all these ridiculous recipes for green food. Not a great, I'm not a fan of the idea of adding green food coloring to everything. So just go with something more traditional Irish. Now, having said that, when I do Irish stew at home, a long simmer one, then I typically make it, I mix my beef stock with a can of Guinness to give it a little something Irish. So you'll decide for that. I don't know if that would fly with the ground beef because it doesn't have as long to simmer, but something to keep in mind. And if you wanted to do something like that, stewing beef is on sale this week at Sobeys for $5.99 a pound. There we go. And like, you know, potatoes are funny because they come in all different sizes. About 3 or 4 potatoes. You've got 4 people to feed, 3 or 4 potatoes depending on size. There. And that's it. I'll use this. I'll use that one. Shannon was hoping I was going to get my hands dirty, but I'm not going to do it. So get out your potatoes and then about a tablespoon of oil. This is a weeknight meal, okay? And don't leave it only for St. Patrick's Day. This is a weeknight meal anytime you want to have it. It's got all the requisite parts, meat and potatoes, vegetables, everything in one pot, easy cleanup, all that. Just do about a half teaspoon of salt on there maybe. Some pepper. Good. That's a really chintzy little spoon I picked up there. I know I've got a bigger one. There it is. And I've got this baking pan ready. You suit yourself. If you want to prefer to use a casserole with sides on it, that will work as well. Put some parchment down to keep it from making a mess on you because otherwise you got to scrub all the dishes and that's a drag. That makes you not enjoy your dinner if you've got horrible dishes to wash when you call in a team. And onto the pan. Spread them out so they cook around. You want them to get nice on all sides, so just push them around. There. And that's going to be it. We're going to put those in for, we've got it at 400, 425 if you want to go higher. Think like 20, 25 minutes, okay? Basically, when we're ready with everything else, we're going to assume the potatoes are going to be ready. This is good to go. Look how quick this is. So that was easy. I mean, I know I had already peeled the potatoes, big deal. Would have added 3 minutes on yours. In they go, and 20 minutes is what I'm going to set them for. I put 20 on my timer and start. We'll pay attention so that I don't forget about them. This, I got some other vegetables ready earlier, and I've got my nice compost bowl. It's coming back as more food, and soon, right? I mean, you know, this is the middle of March. It's not going to be long until we are back into garden season. If you plant a garden, now is the time to start your onions, okay? Get them going if you haven't already. Now, next thing we want to do, grab yourself a casserole that you can serve from, okay? Whether you use a Dutch oven pot or something like this, but this way you can take it to the table in your pot. So you want to start with a pot that's going to be the right size. And these packs of ground beef, there was ground beef on sale this week, but it's the big family size ones. I picked up one of the bags where you get 3 pounds in tubes like this, so that's what I did. And they're always $10 at No Frills. So you get the bag with 3 of these tubes in it, each one a pound. And $10 is a fair price. A little over $3 a pound. And then in it goes here. Usually you can just kind of turn it inside out and it'll empty. And there, yuck. I'm gonna wash up. Excuse me one moment. I know that trickle is because we have a hot water issue right now. They're coming to fix it. They're coming to fix it. These things happen, whether in your house, anywhere you are, you can have plumbing problems, right? Plumbing. If you've got a house, there's stuff broken, that's the rule. Grab yourself a spoon. If you have a slotted one, get it now, because later we're going to want to drain the meat. I'm just going to spread that out to get it going. And then we'll set it over medium heat. Basically, I just want to brown it up. I just want to cook it until there's no pink cleft in it. So I'll move it over here. And I'm going to just put it about there. That's going to cook along and be great. Let's get rid of that before I forget. This is so simple. That can go there, that can go there. I don't want to look at them anymore. Well, that's browning. Potatoes are cooking. I've gone ahead and I have it stashed in the fridge here. I'll just show you what I did. I chopped up 1 onion, stalk of celery, and I did 2 big carrots. I mean, they were big. They were huge carrots. Normally, I think you'd need 3 carrots, but these were really big. So that's what I've got there. And once the ground beef is browned up, then we're going to add this and move along. I'm going to cover it back up with my lid. It's not a lid, but a great lid. Just like that. You're going to need a liter of beef broth. So whether you have like the Tetra Pak, and again, No Frills has the Tetra Pak of boxes for $1. So it's a good buy. I had some of the powdered ones, so I just used it today just because I had them. And that's really, I mean, we've done some salt and pepper on our potatoes. I've got thyme for later. We're in great shape. I mean, it's really simple. Right now, we're kind of at a standstill. So we're just waiting for the beef to brown up. I'll come back as soon as it's ready. Ground beef from the stove over to here. What I want to do is transfer it out of there, and I've got this slotted spoon for that reason. We can just, you don't need to be like too weird about it, you don't to get every little bit out, but drain off some. We don't want it to sit in fat. We'll scoop it all out of there. We're going to return it after we get our veggies going. And it's not, you can see it crumbled nicely and it's all browned through. Good, 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 good. And we'll scoop it all out of there and then we'll start our veg. And just for reference point, I've got 10 minutes left on those potatoes, so this took, you know, less than 10 to brown up in the pan. And honestly, I think you can make this meal in under an hour. Like, you can definitely be start to finish, start to table in an hour. I want to add, I don't have a lot of accumulated fat in here, so I'm going to add some of this. This is bacon grease that I've been saving, and that's the kind of girl I am. Never mind, just do it. If you don't have a jar of bacon grease in your fridge, grab some butter, okay? We're going to do that, back over to the heat, melt it, and then we're going to put our veg, the carrots, whoops. Okay, we'll get my fancy hot pad back up off the floor there. And we'll just let that melt down a bit. You want to work about medium heat. We're just letting that calm down. And then carrots did one jump. I'm not going to worry. Carrots, onions, celery. So they're all chopped up, nicely diced. I'm going to add a little bit of thyme to them as well. That's coming along. That'll melt down. If at any point you think you need more fat in the pan, just add it. Look at how nice that looks. Don't miss any. And again, no reason why you couldn't do that ahead of time as well. Like just start that up in the morning and have it all ready. We're just going to let that go for about 5, maybe 10 minutes while it browns up and softens. Get yourself a spoon and put about a teaspoon of thyme on top of your veg. And that, I'm not going to salt and pepper yet. I may not salt it all because that broth is bound to have a fair bit of salt in it. We can turn that down slightly, let it go. We can come back when that's starting to soften up. 5-10 minutes. I'll see you in a bit. It's cooking along. I've got good color on the onions and things are starting to soften up. It's been right around 10 minutes again. Looks good. I've got my beef here, and I want to keep any juices that have accumulated in there, anything that's come out of it. So we're just going to dump the whole pot back in. Don't lose any. There. Give it a little mix around so that everything gets a little going on. And then, looks good, doesn't it? It already looks nice. I'm just going to turn that down a little bit. I've got 1/4 cup of flour here. And I'm just going to sprinkle it over, and then we'll stir it around the coat. We're using this to thicken, okay? Because this way our gravy will thicken while it cooks. Just scoop it around so that everything gets some on it. If you're looking for a gluten-free, I mean, you're used to doing this if you follow a gluten-free. I'm sorry, I have an alarm going on my phone. Let me shut it off. Sorry, I had to stop and be a mom for a minute. All done now. I'm done with that. Everybody's all grown up anyway. So we've got the flour all through there. Next thing you want to do is add your broth. So if you've got a Tetra Pak, it's already 1 liter. I mixed up 1 liter here and pour it in and all the way through. There we go. And again, just kind of push things around so that nothing's stuck to the sides. Basically, you just want to make sure everything's in there. You can set that to the side. I'm not going to add more salt. If you were a clever person and you used a low sodium or no sodium broth, then you might want to add a little bit, your choice. I am going to do a little bit of pepper. I think I can go a tiny bit more. I probably did maybe a teaspoon there. I think it needs it. You know, go ahead and add it, and make sure you add it at the table too, but we won't do that too much. I want to bring this to a full boil, and our potatoes are almost done, and once they are and we get this going, then we'll add the potatoes to our pot. Right now I want it to come to a boil. I'm going to turn it up a bit so that we can get there. Look how nice this is and how easily it's coming together. We've been 20 minutes at this point, I think. So that's nothing. That's nothing, and we're very close to done. We want this to come to a boil, and then we'll let it simmer for about 15 minutes. Big deal. That's it. And those 15 minutes you can slice up a nice baguette or something. You're going to want bread or biscuits or something like this. So, you know, in those 15 minutes you can set the table, and like I say, if you've got a nice baguette or something going, then that would be a great spot for it. As soon as that comes to a boil, we'll reduce the heat and just let it simmer. I'll come back when we're ready to add the potatoes. Okay, I just took the potatoes out of the oven, and you can see they're roasted up beautifully. So very gently, I'm going to return them to this pot, and our stew is coming along. You can see it's starting to thicken up nice, okay? And our potatoes are going to help that along. Scooch it around. Look at how good this looks. Can you imagine? We've put this together really quite quickly. We've been active maybe 30 minutes. So nice. And I know I had my veggies cut up, but while your meat was browning, that's when you could have cut up your carrots and onions and celery. Look at that. Let those potatoes simmer in there for, at least 5 minutes, 10. You want to get them to get the flavor of the other things in there, and especially that nice gravy, that good gravy, like Charlie Brown good gravy. Just do that and give it 5-10 minutes. We'll be back when we're ready. We're ready. And it looks beautiful. This is heavy and beautiful. Look at how nice this is. While we were off camera, Shannon pointed out, if you wanted to go ahead and roast your potatoes even in the morning, because it's like 20 minutes, who cares? And you could have all your veggies ready and everything. You could have this meal ready in honestly, in 30 minutes, nothing. Like, you can't hardly make a bowl of bad pasta that fast. So, bad pasta, you know what I mean. Like just a jar sauce and a box of pasta. So, look how nice this is. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. There's plenty there for 4 people. Let's spoon some in. And don't the potatoes look nice because they were pre-roasted? This is so nice. Look how much there is here. There's lots to go around. There. Look at that. And then if you had a nice baguette or something like that to go with it, just put your salt and pepper on the table, serve it with a spoon. Get something to mop that gravy up though, okay? Have a loaf of bread or something. This is fantastic, and I don't know why you wouldn't make this like in your normal rotation of meals in your family's home. This is quick and easy. You could mix up your veggies if you've got a turnip around or something you want to throw in, parsnips, do whatever you've got, okay? Think root vegetables. Quick and easy. I'll be sharing this stew forward with a family here in town and let them enjoy this good meal tonight. I'm thinking about, a few people have reached out to me about classes, cooking classes, and I'm thinking that now that restrictions have lifted, all that's left is the mask, and it seems like maybe that's going to go soon too. I'm thinking about doing some cooking classes here at Westminster. We've got a beautiful facility here for doing them. One lady reached out to me about maybe pies. There's all sorts of possibilities. If you're interested or want to put a group together, anything like that, to do a cooking class with me, please reach out to me either in the comments on the video or by emailing me at facility@westminsterorangeville.ca. Just let me know what your interest is and if there's something particular you'd like to learn to cook. Let's get it going. I mean, it'll be nice to get together with people again and get cooking. Quit letting food eat up all your time and money. This is a beautiful meal, and we did it in probably well under an hour, truth told. Okay, this is no reason you can't do this on any day of the week. Comes together for less than $10, I think, and because of most of the stuff I already had, you can't go wrong. This is just such an easy meal to cook. Take good care. I'll see you next week.